Why do you believe what you believe? That's the first thing that once you start looking for, you go, right, I better work out. When you're arguing with someone and they have a go and you think, hang on a minute, why do I think that? And then quite often you can be disconcerted and go, a lot of this is gut instinct, and you work backwards and you find out. Because, of course, social media is, that's why people get in so much trouble. Is one, we're very subjective creatures. So someone sees 140 characters, and of course this has happened to, we'll probably talk about that with Richard Dawkins later on. But he puts something out, and it looks as if it exists only. I imagine everyone will know my background thinking. You go, no, this is in a sea of many different cultures and thoughts, and people will grab it and go, brilliant, that justifies my idea, or that is the reason. That
there's so many things about that, isn't it? That nowadays people don't look at the argument; they look at who's saying the argument. There's a prejudice. It is hard to explain to people the difference between what's objective and what's subjective. People get angry. People take things personally, not just religion, but comedy. People take everything personally. They think you're tweeting them. You're just tweeting. So Twitter's a minefield for that sort of thing. But I think in general, Sam Harris said, how can you argue logically to someone who doesn't value logic? So you're done. I think even we had Brian Cox in, and it came up that he was an atheist, and he said he didn't even like the term because he doesn't want it to define him, and that's right. People put so much these ridiculous leaps. Assumptions about an atheist. There's only one. The only assumption you can make about an atheist is they don't believe in a God. That's the only assumption you can make.
That was when we did the Christmas shows years ago, because I had these arguments I ended up occasionally on like kind of TV panel shows where quite fundamentalist Christians would get very, well, you want to ban Christmas, don't you? No, I don't want to ban. I've not even said that. What are you talking about? Yeah, you do. Well, no, I don't. But you do. No, I've just said it. And then they go, well, you want it to be joyless. And so I'd put on these shows around Christmas time called 9 Lessons.
Yeah, I did one. They're great.
You did one of the first ones. And the idea was, sometimes people might go, I really want a celebration and mulled wine and stuff, but I haven't really got so much, the nativity thing. So it's nice to go to a thing where people talk about science and music. And then people are going to me going, oh, that's a bit hypocritical, isn't it?
I get that.
And you go, no, that's a great thing. It's because I don't have to follow dogmatic rules. Yeah. I can do that. Because
of course I can. I think a church is a lovely building, and I walk around churches and think, what beautiful architecture. I even am fascinated by the art that religion was caused by and how they worshipped, and I'm fascinated by that. It's ludicrous, and I do celebrate Christmas because it's a fun time. I don't care that it's based on a ludicrous myth that I don't believe in, or. It's to me, it's like celebrating Lord of the Rings. I prefer Christmas to go into a Lord of the Rings celebration.
And yet someone will go, oh, it's very interesting. Ricky says he's an atheist, but I saw him in a church and he didn't even shit in the font. Yeah. What?
Well, that's the other thing.
Surely that's what he should have done.
But that's the other thing about atheists. They assume that I'm going around ruining people's days. I'm running into churches and going, it's all running into cancer wards and going, there's no afterlife.
Yeah. Your life's finite, it's nearly over.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
There's no purpose. There's a great line. Slavoj Žižek, the philosopher, he says this one time, one of his books, I think, opens with, life is a pointless, meaningless thing that has nothing whatsoever to teach you. And you go, whoa, that's slowed down the day a bit, hasn't it? But it's kind of fun where...
Well, I disagree with that has nothing to teach you. I think that's one of the reasons... one of the beauties of life is to understand the world. We're here for 70, 80 years or whatever, and I want to consume everything. I want to know how everything works. And I think that's the joy. That fills me with joy. Not just understanding it, but not understanding it. I love not understanding so much. So it's like solving a puzzle. You like getting a new crossword to solve it. You don't just sit around looking at all the old crosswords you've solved. That is the beauty of science and nature, that there's always going to be something to solve. I love it. I love the feeling of trying to work something out.
But you then have to relax as well about the fact that you'll never get when you die. You won't be there going, oh, thank heavens I learned everything. You'll be going, oh no, not today.
I know.
I was just about to understand quantum electrodynamics.
Of course.